Hello everybody, my name is Tommy. I am a puppet maker, and in this video we're going to be making a crewmate. Or is it? No, it's not. We'll be making an imposter puppet instead. So you can paint these any color you want. I chose red. It's just preference because I only have one red puppet, and that's Foxy. So why not add another one? And they can be customized. You can put hats on them. Let's try it with Bendy's hat. Oh, there's a dapper. Nice and dapper. A little big, but you get the point. So you can make a hat for it if you want. Maybe like a lei or whatever. These can be customized. Pretty cool. It's also got a moving tongue. So this is what we are going to be making. So work safe and enjoy. Welcome to Tommy's Puppet Lab. Alright, so in this video, we will be making an imposter puppet from the popular game Among Us. So first thing you want to do, you want to decide what color you want to paint it. So there's all kinds of colors, and you can even put hats on it. Whatever. This is your puppet. I don't care what you do with it. It's your imposter. You're the crewmate. You can decide however you want to customize it. I think I'm going to go with red. So you will need some cardboard. As you can see, this is I'm using cut up pizza boxes. Yeah, they look kind of, these ones are kind of gross. Yeah, there we go. Wired. So the first thing, actually for the legs, I already got the first step here. Toilet paper spools. This is why you hang on to things. I'm gonna zoom out. Alright, so Tommy's Puppet Lab is going to be making an Among Us puppet. So let's start by cutting up some cardboard. Now I'm going to cut this in half. Remember to cut away from yourself. Knives and scissors are very sharp. So I want this to be fairly large, so I'm just going to go here. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go, cut away from myself. I'm safe. Now we want to roll it. Just remember to roll with the direction of the corrugation. Not against it, otherwise it won't roll very good and it's going to look ugly. I'm wearing gloves because we'll be doing a lot of hot gluing. And it's in the name, hot glue. It's hot. Ha! Yes, very, very, very hot. Alright, we're going to roll this. And we should have a tube. These characters are round. So you should have a long rectangle. Now you can absolutely use masking tape if you want to. In fact, not a bad idea. Why don't we do it? So I don't need gloves when I'm masking. Using the masking tape. Kind of just use the scissors. See how one end is just off here? There, that looks alright. Beautiful. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this, the bottom here, we're going to trace around it. Actually, I'm going to use the masking tape just to make sure it stays nice and round. And we will need a marker. Don't need the gloves yet. We're not gluing just now, but we will be very quickly. We're going to trace around the bottom and the top. And let's make two of them. 2 circles. Let's cut them out. Just remember, cut away from your fingers. So let's glue the top on and the bottom. Now get your gloves on. Stuff can burn you if you're not careful. Put some glue on top and we're going to put one on each end. You can just kind of see the steam coming from here. The fumes actually what they are. That's how hot it is. I don't know how well you can see it, but alright, here we go. Nice. Very, very nice. You should always make sure that the glue is completely cooled down. Alright, this is good enough. I'm going to be putting weight on the bottom here. Gonna put a little weight on top here. Now we need to decide which way it's going to be where we're going to have the front be, and I think this side will be because it's the flattest. Because we need to put the face, because these are astronauts. But apparently the imposter is some kind of alien that goes on a killing spree. Ha 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 ha. What am I getting myself into? Okay. So that's actually probably good. I'm just going to put a bead of hot glue along this crack here just to make sure that it stays shut. Just because I'm Mr. Picky. That's how I am when I make puppets. Now we're going to glue the legs on. Actually, what we're going to do first is we're going to actually seal the bottoms first. So let's reduce waste and we're just going to reuse this strip. We're going to cut around. We're going to make 2 cuts. We're going to make 2 circles. Oh, get that away from my hands. Actually, you know what? We're just going to cut them into squares and then we'll just trim off the overhang. That's what we're going to do. These will be the feet, and obviously we're making the bottom. I want this imposter to stand on his own. Not a very efficient killer when he doesn't have very good balance, but then again, these are astronauts, so there is no gravity in space, so okay, we're just going to glue this onto here. Don't worry about the circles. Just put some glue on the bottom. Just don't forget your gloves. This is really hot glue. Now I'm not too worried about the top there, but you want to actually just seal off the bottom there. Now we're going to be taking a knife and we're going to trim off the overhang once this cools down a bit. But I can already start trimming the overhang. See how it just kind of has a little bit of cardboard hanging out? I want to get rid of that. Don't use a dull knife. I mean, you might think it's safer because it's less likely to cut you, I suppose. Though dull knives will slip much more often than a sharp one. Make sure your knife is sharp so it can do the job it's supposed to do. Cutting things with ease. Now, it's not the most perfect, but hey, that's what paper mache is for. We're going to cover up all our mistakes. Alright, let's trim off the overhang on here so we have nice round feet. Just be careful when you're doing this because this can be a little tricky when you're... Be very careful. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. Now if you want, you can probably... I should probably trim the feet just a little bit. The legs, I mean. Nice. Very nice. There. Should be able to stand on its own. So now we glue this to the bottom here. So we're going to put some glue on the tops here. Just make sure it's hanging out on the edge. Like that. Might help to just flip it upside down so you can actually see what you're doing. Now I have the face facing forward. Now this is what you should have right now. Kind of looks like a giant outlet plug. Biggest one I ever seen, if you ask me. Okay, let's make the face. And then we'll need the jetpack, or I guess the oxygen tank is probably what it is. So we'll need to cut out a large oval or a circle. Here, I'm just going to show you the reference that I'm using. Here's the reference that I'm using, just in case you want to know. So we're just going to take another piece here. I'm going to draw me a large oval. Or maybe I should just do a circle, because that might... I'll just go with an oval, what the heck. I have never made an astronaut puppet before, so this is going to be kind of fun. Let's cut that out. Cut it out, cut it out. Hey, you, cut that out. Okay, let's just do this. Starting to look like one of them. Except it's not one of them. Oh, he's an imposter. But you can absolutely make a crewmate this way. No problem. There. So you will need some newspaper for this. Not much. And we're going to crumple it on top of here just to take the shape. Take the masking tape and wrap it around. So this is kind of your stencil. I do this all the time. You're welcome to try it without if you're confident. I'm just trying to show you the easy way of doing this. There. You should have very little overhang, and this is there. Just kind of bend that, and we're going to glue this on. Just make sure the feet aren't out of alignment. I got my gloves on, and I already got hot glue on my hands there, but I did not feel the burn because I was smart, and you should be too. Now we're going to raise, yeah, see, now this is starting to fall forward. So what I need to do is I actually need to make some bigger feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap some cardboard around the bottom here. This will add some weight to the feet. Kind of actually, you know, I think that bigger feet kind of makes it look more astronaut-like, if you ask me. I know they don't have feet like this, I'm perfectly aware, but hey, this is my project. You're welcome to do it differently, okay? And we still have a problem. Okay, just need to slide this down just a little bit. There we go. So we're going to crumple some newspaper on top of here into this same shape here, but you want to take the shape of the top so it's a little more dome-like. because the heads are round, not flat. Okay, you just need to add the oxygen tank. Now this oxygen tank is going to have some holes in it because I want to make this into a puppet. So what we need to do is we actually need to make a square. I'm going to do it out of cardboard. So I'm hoping this will help balance the puppet because there's a little weight on the front here. So let's try to get that balanced out in the newspaper. So what we are going to do is we are going to draw a square, another piece of cardboard. Again, this is a pizza box. Okay. It should be kind of rectangle-like. Now what you want to do is you want to cut, I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller. And we're going to hang on to it as well because we are going to reuse this. And we're going to hang on to this cutout as well. Because now I'm going to show you what we are going to do. What we're going to do. Yosh. I'm going to take these strips. We're going to glue it along the side here so we can make it just a little bit raised. We'll put a bead of hot glue here. Just remember your gloves. I say this a lot. I know. Better be safe than sorry though. We're just going to glue it upwards like this. Like that. And we're going to join that with the bottom piece. Kind of how I made my Porygon puppet, which is also another character that goes into space. Cyberspace anyway, but they were made to go to space. Almost like a paperclip box, I guess. Or, you know what you could do, actually, is you could take an old paperclip box and do that. Use that instead. I don't have one, though, that I can show you, but that is another alternative if you want to save yourself a step. And so this is what you should have, kind of like a flat paperclip box. Now you can use this as a paperclip box tutorial if you want. There you go. You could use a large an empty large matchbox. Chica probably has one somewhere, but I don't think she's willing to part with hers. So we're going to glue this on. Now it's not going to, this could be tricky to keep it on, but I'm going to show you there's another step that we must do. So just glue it where you want it. This should be lowered a bit. Actually, they have it down quite a ways. Now we're going to actually we should make some longer strips there to help seal that off. So I'm going to cut some longer cardboard strips like that so it has contact with the body. Look at that, another perfect cut. Must be my lucky day today. Just gotta love it when things go your way. There you go. You now have a framework for a crewmate. Look at that. It still stands on its own. That's perfect. Man, everything's just going nicely. Wonderful. So let's move on to the paper mache. I could have burned myself in all these places. Look at my hands. They're perfect. They feel nice. So wear your gloves when you're using hot glue, please. Okay. So here's a messy part. paper mache. So, what you will need is you will need to mix some white glue and water together. So I'm using 1 part white glue and 1 part water. I'm gonna mix that up real well. You'll need a paintbrush. Now I'm using toilet paper for this. You can use tissue paper or you can use newspaper strips. I'm going to use toilet paper just to keep it consistent with the rest of my work. So I'm going to brush glue onto the surface area, get it all wet. Now you're going to take some toilet paper or whatever you're using. Tissue, toilet paper, newspaper strips. In this case, if you're using newspaper strips, you could put glue on both sides before doing this. But now I'm going to put this on the wet surface area. And then I'm going to brush glue on top of it. And you're going to put another layer on top. You're going to keep doing this. Yeah, so just make sure that the tissue is wet again. So you want to keep covering it until you have about 4 or 5 layers. But on cardboard, you can absolutely get away with just 2. But on newspaper, you should have 4 or 5. Okay? This is what you do. Not hard. Just need some patience. And you need to have a surface area you don't mind getting dirty, because this is a very messy project. So let's do that. Let's get it all covered up. This is how you make a crewmate. Now I actually want an imposter, so we're going to go a step further, but if you want to just stop here, go ahead and paint it. Just paint it, all done. Okay, so we need to go a step further to make the imposter. We're going to cut it right about here. Now we're going to be performing some surgery. Alright, let's get the scalpel. Here's my scalpel. Okay. I'm going to use a saw. You can use a knife if you want, but I'm going to use this because I have it. We're going to just cut that. Unless you want a dead crewmate, then you can do that. There. This is how I want it. And then we're going to cut some holes open here. So let's do that. I'm just going to draw a line right where we cut. And this is where it opens. This is going to be our hinge. Okay? Now, actually, we need to cut some holes so we can get our hands through. I know, it doesn't have holes in it, but this is the only way that we're going to be able to actually make this into a puppet. Because this is a puppet channel. Shame on me for not making a puppet. So we're going to cut that out, and then we're going to trace. Almost looks like a paper clip. Knives are sharp. Please be careful. I care about you. I don't want you to get hurt when you're making craft and puppets. Now if you want to just cut it in half and put a bone in the middle there for a dead crewmate, that's what you'd have to do. I'm not going to do that because I need this puppet alive. So I'm just going to do this. Going to have him bite the cardboard. I'm going to trace around it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to hot glue this on the inside. Yeah, we got to make this a little bit smaller because we want to get it on the inside, not on the... We want it on the inside just a little bit because we want to be able to conceal the teeth. Yes, this one's going to have teeth. Imposters are scary. Alright, that's probably good. And you can still get your hand through here. We don't need our scalpel anymore. I mean saw. Oh boy, you sure don't want me as a surgeon. We're gonna take our cardboard, our pizza box, but you don't have to use a pizza box. I'm just using it because I have one available. It was a good pizza. Now we're gonna draw some triangles. We're gonna cut that out. Cut it out. Are you cut it out? Okay. Very carefully cut these out. I'm going to try to do it with the razor. Might be a little tricky. I'm going to cut away from myself. And you should have something that looks like this. So I'm going to cut another one. I just love shoving everything onto the floor. What you want to do is you want to roll it. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're going to get it spaced out a little bit. Just going to glue a regular strip of cardboard to the side. Yeah, just along the lip here. Okay, so just so that you have it spaced out properly, I'm actually going to do the top one first. It's going to have just a slight overbite. I mean, that way we can actually get it to close all the way. The imposter will hide the teeth. Otherwise, it's too obvious who the imposter is, right? Like that. Then that way you have a little spacing. And then you will actually be able to close the mouth. Oh yeah, this is going to work. Here, before I glue it, I'm going to try it. Yep, there you go. That's exactly what you want. So let's go ahead and glue that on. And it still closes. Woohoo! Yeah! Oh, this is going to be so cool! Okay, now I'm going to glue 2 of them on the bottom because we want it to be spaced out from the upper teeth. I might even just go with 3. Want to make sure. So it is going to have an overbite. So now we have 3. So look at that. And now we can glue the teeth along the bottom. See what I said there? I said actually along the bottom, just where we glued that strip. And now we have a problem. This is obstructing it. Okay, so I think I know how to fix that. This just needs to be a lot thinner. Thankfully the glue was still warm. I hope I can cut through 3 layers. Oh yeah, this is alright. Okay. Take 2. Try that again. I'm going to glue this thin. So this bottom strips should be a lot thinner. Yet it should be, how about 3 layers of cardboard spacing it out. Nice. Don't you just love it when it works out? That is already kind of creepy. Whoa. Hey, it's a crewmate. No. Nice. So what we need to do now, we need to just get some paper mache on that. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to finishing. Well, to the painting part anyways. What we need to do, we need to hide this. Because when you stick your thumb through, you don't want to be able to see it. So this is going to be part of the tongue, and the tongue will be attached at the top hole here. I'm just going to glue this strip on an angle, because you still want to be able to get your thumb through. So make sure you got your gloves on. Like this. It's not glued flat, but it's just glued on an angle. I'm just going to seal off these openings here just because it's kind of ugly. So I just cut some strips into the shape. I'm just going to seal those off with cardboard. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to because I like doing a good job. And I am Mr. Picky when it comes to making art. So remember, you can paint this puppet any color you want. I'm going with red. Okay, so our puppet is now ready to be painted. And I've already settled on red. Thank you, birds. Thank you. The birds say hi. Why don't you go say hi to them? Chico. Okay, so while the puppet is drying, I'm going to start making the tongue. So we will need some pink fabric. And you want to make sure it's folded over. So this is actually 2 layers here. I got red paint all over my hands. You might be thinking I'm the imposter. Ha ha ha. Who knows? Okay. We're going to draw the tongue with a marker. I'm going to make a long pointy one. So it should look like a tooth. Because I've seen pictures of the imposter stabbing crewmates with his tongue. So, yeah. That's fun. So we're actually going to need 2 of these because I want to actually be able to put my finger in it so that we can move the tongue. I'm going to cut that out. Yeah, so like that. I'm going to need 2 of those. But yeah, we got actually 2 layers here. Now, if you have a sewing machine, you can use this. You can use that. I have a sewing machine, but just for the sake of the fact that probably a lot of you don't have one, we're just going to use some fabric glue. No, just a warning, there are fumes coming from this. So be very careful, and it is a little bit flammable, so obey all warnings. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to glue all the ends. So this is basically fabric glue. You can use a glue gun too, but it won't hold as good as fabric glue. And we're going to glue that, put that over on top. But we can start cutting the batting right now. Now batting you can get at just about any store that sells fabric. This should be more than enough. Now basically what you want to do, you want to cut these shapes out, but they're going to be smaller. Okay, we should be able to just get it right through our finger right through. Let's put the batting inside. Now if you don't have this batting, you could use an old towel, or you can cut up an old towel or something like that. There's a little overhang, you might want to trim that off. Now I want to glue this shut. Might need to put a little weight on it to make sure that it stays down. So I'm going to do, so I'll take the thinner piece here. I'm going to do a bit of an overlap. So we are going to cover a piece of the glue on. Okay, so we're going to take the tongue, I'm going to slide it through the back here. And I'm going to put some hot glue, just right where it has contact. Right along the top here, and just on the bottom. Don't forget your gloves. And here it is, everybody. Your very own imposter crewmate puppet. Now check this out. Let's turn the lights out. If you look hard, you can just make out his eye right there. Little red glow paint and a little bit of purple glow paint. I don't know how well that shows, but yeah. He has an eye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye-bye.
Oh no, a rat!
See you next time.